who did massive afforestation and even built hospitals for animals throughout his empire. The peace in his consciousness radiated throughout his empire as prosperity. For wherever there is peacefulness, there prosperity will flow. To awaken to peace and to spread that peace around us is the ultimate dharma of every human being. We all need to understand that war anywhere and for whatever reason is a crime against the earth and all its living beings. Have you noticed that no war is ever fought with the cause of plunder and hate? It always goes under the name of a noble cause. Underneath all these noble causes, war is always instigated for the most ignoble and selfish reasons of wanting greater power, authority, control, or riches. War leaves behind tortured human beings for generations. War kills whole ecosystems. Economies of nations get destroyed. War creates famines. War diverts resources from where they are most needed. Do you know that less than 3% of what we spend every year on war and preparing for war can end starvation in the world? With less than 1% of what we spend preparing for war, we can end drinking water problems in the world. It is like the energy of a person. If you are foolish, you will spend your entire energy on hating and fighting the other, all the people around you. Then you would make nothing with your life. Think about it. If you are wiser, you will invest your time and energy in growth. Think for a moment. How much energy are you wasting right now on fighting someone instead of growing, instead of nurturing love? Think about it. Pause for a few seconds and just think about it, because this is your life. Sadly, there is still an atmosphere of war in so many countries, with their neighbors and within their own borders. A couple of weeks ago, when one of our Chinese students, who was talking to a teacher at Ekam, her elderly mother walked into the house and started yelling and throwing things around. She was so agitated that her daughter was talking to an Indian. This same agitation, I'm sure, fills many Indians too. This is what an atmosphere of war does. We fill hate in our hearts for each other, forgetting that we are all human beings, forgetting that war kills us. Do you realize it is so easy to hate people you have never met and never known at all? So many wars have been fought on earth, But what instigates all these wars is the war that goes on within our minds. It is the mental infection of violence within us. This mental infection of violence has been going on for the past 70,000 years and has been passed on from one generation to another, and also parallelly from one community to another community. We are all hiding from COVID in our homes, but this is a much more dangerous infection. You can't hide from it. You must awaken spiritually and conquer it. Every person's mind and heart has become a violent battleground. If we can just realize this, this will be a great first step to awaken and become spiritual. Internally, you are never at peace for long. You are never restful. There is always disturbance, non-stop disturbance. There is no peace. You are internally angry with your partner, with your mother, father, child, colleague, boss, and neighbor. Should not your inner complaining stop? Is it not time for you to become peaceful with everyone? Here is something I want you to observe. The denser your sense of self, your feeling of I, the more you want to control and dominate others. You quickly take offense when others do not comply. Internally, you make them your enemy. Anyone who does not fulfill your desire becomes your enemy. This, sadly, is the state of an unawakened human being. Do you really want to live this way, with anger and a desire to dominate? Is this what you want your children to see of you? Because children grow up seeing their parents. The parents have the most influence on the children. Please pause. Think about the big picture. This is how you have lived over several lifetimes. It is time you woke up. It is time you rose towards mukti, enlightenment. It is time you awakened to your true nature of immense peacefulness. It is important that millions wake up from their unawakened state of inner conflict and move towards an awakened state of peace. Because it is our collective peace that has the power to end war. It is our collective peace that will prevent the emergence of egoistic leaders in the world. With our meditation, we can infuse so much peace in the collective human consciousness that wars can dissipate before they build. That is why it is our dharma to wake up from our conflict-driven minds to our true nature of unperturbed peace. And only then abundance will flow and thrive in our families and the world. As you and I speak, COVID is spreading rapidly, victimizing hundreds of thousands of people. During the past 5 months, people all over the world have gone through enormous challenges, suffered enormous loss and agony. Let us now merge our souls in one single prayer intention to the universe, that we have to emerge out of the shadow, out of this virus, and emerge from this crisis with a more evolved consciousness. This collective prayer, emerging from Ekam, is immensely powerful. Last year, every day of the Peace Festival, we meditated for the fires in Amazon forest to die out. And the fires died right after the Peace Festival. Even though the skeptic in you might find it difficult to believe, that is the power of the collective peace meditation and peace prayers done from Ekam. Let us do the same for COVID this year. Remember that when you pray, you feel that you are seeing your intention manifest already. Not that it is going to happen in the future, but see and feel that it is already done. Please close your eyes now. Bring your palms to your heart and touch your heart. Feel the divine in your heart and ask for the power of the divine to flow into your intention now. See that great immunity is generated in your body, in the bodies of your loved ones, and the bodies of all humanity. Imagine a golden shield around all humanity. See that a medicine is found that has become the cure. See that great healing is flowing into the hearts of all people who are afflicted by the virus and is healing their bodies, and that they are restored to health. See that humanity has emerged as a more evolved race that is caring for all life from this crisis. Thank you, Divine, for the great blessings that have flowed to you and the world. Gently relax your palms and open your eyes.
Today's guest of honor, with whom Shri Krishna Ji will be conversing, is Kailash Satyarthi Ji. He is a Nobel Peace Prize winner who has saved more than 90,000 children from slavery. His actions have impacted the lives of millions of children worldwide. Let us now see a presentation on Kailash Satyarthi Ji, after which our beloved Shri Krishna Ji will be back with us for the conversation.
The Nobel Peace Prize for 2014 is to be awarded to Kailash Satyarthi for the struggle against suppression of young people and children.
There is no greater violence than to deny the dreams of our children. I refuse to accept that the laws and constitutions are unable to protect our children. Today is the time for every child to have the right to life. I refuse to accept that the shackles of slavery can ever be more stronger than the quest for freedom, I refuse to accept here.
Getting a greeting like this is all the reward Kailash Satyarthi needs for freeing these children from a life of slavery. He tries to give these kids the childhood they missed.
Do you think these kids see you as a Nobel Peace Prize winner?
No, I don't think they see me as friend or brother or something like father. I have looked into their frightened and exhausted eyes. I've held their injured bodies and I have felt their broken spirits. I refuse to accept that children belonging to certain sections of society are born to work for others at the cost of their childhood and freedom and education. If the children are exploited, if the children are deprived from their childhood in any part of the world cannot live in peace. The world cannot be human.
It's not often the two winners of the Nobel Peace Prize get together, but it happened yesterday when President Obama met Kailash Satyarthi. They were joined by 3 children who were rescued from child trafficking and forced marriage.
You cannot live in isolation. All the problems and solutions are interconnected. And so the problem of child labor in any part of the world is your problem.
Satyarthi organizes raids with local police, but sometimes employers are tipped off and waiting for him armed.
But I have been attacked many times in my life.
You had a gun to your head?
Literally here.
This is dangerous work, freeing these kids.
Somebody has to pay the cost for freedom. It does not come on plate. So if not me, then who else will do? Nobel Prize.
Who won the Nobel Prize, he asks. Their reply, all of us kids.
It's good. Every single minute matters. Every single child matters. Every single childhood matters.
To me, Satyarthi ji is one of those rare peace leaders who has discovered his dharma. He is fulfilling his dharma of protecting the innocence and the future of world's children. Please open your hearts and feel his love for children. From that space of love, listen to him. Your hearts will be impacted. Namaste, Satyarthi ji.
Namaste, Krishna ji.
Welcome to this most noble and sacred gathering of Ekam Peace Meditators. It is an honor to have you with us today.
Thank you so much.
May endless blessings flow from Ekam to you for your mission of saving the children and the world. Right now, Satyarthi ji, there are more than 10 million people listening and meditating with us from all over the world. Over 100 television channels, 1,000 plus institutions, several thousand villages, over 100 countries, all carrying powerful peace energy from Ekam. Satyarthi ji, shall we get into our conversation?
Sir, thank you so much.
Yes.
It's my pleasure and honor to be with all of you. And I'm quite surprised, Krishnaji and Pithaji, that in such young age, you have become the champion for peace and humanity, love and compassion.
Thank you so
You are
much.
blessed by God, and you are born as the messenger of divinity. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Satyarthi ji,
You can start.
what awakened your heart to the hardships of the children of India and the world? What was that awakening?
Well, we are all just not body, but the combination of body, mind, and soul, the spirit. And I always believe it is without purpose. So can never be so meager who gives us birth without purpose or with a little purpose. I could feel compassion inside me the first time, which I could not explain that time because I was just 5.5 years old. It was the first day of my school when I was entering in my school. I saw a cobbler boy sitting along with his father and looking at us for shoes shining. I was shocked, rather disappointed, thinking that why a child is sitting outside the school gate and not going with us in the class. And this was the first question I asked in my life to my teacher. And he said, calm down, this is your first day, make friends. Similar answers were given by my parents and my friends and all the wise people that this is happening. Some said it's because of destiny, some said because of poverty. But every morning and afternoon, I kept on looking at that boy, my age. And one day I gathered courage and asked the boy and his father. Boy was shy, but father replied with a lot of surprise. He said, I never thought about it. My grandparents, my parents, and I started working in making and repairing shoes since our childhood, and so is my son, he said. And then he took a pause and said, sir, you people are born to go to school, but we are born to work. That was his answer, but it was like a challenge for me that day and for the rest of my life, because I could not believe. I was a devotee. I was doing all kind of fastings and prayers and everything in my childhood. So I believe that if God has given birth to all of us and if we are all children of the same Father, the Almighty, Omnipresent Father, how could it be possible that He has given birth to the child to work and for me to go to school and dream? So I could not believe it. I refused to accept that day, and I still refuse to accept. If we see any wrongs and injustices and inequalities around us, violence around us, wrong things and evils around us, they are not created by God. We have created them. And I started thinking what could be done for that child and every child. And later on, people explained that this was the spark of compassion. And when I say compassion, I'm not talking about sympathy or empathy. Sympathy is an outer circle. When you feel the suffering of others, it's good. But you can't do much except expressing your sympathy or doing something smaller things. Then comes empathy, inner circle. And empathy is the feeling of suffering for others as your own suffering. That is even better. But compassion is the feeling of suffering of others as your own suffering with a strong desire and drive to act, to elevate, to end that suffering. And so my spark was the first spark. and I could feel myself that I am born with that compassion, as every human being, every creature of God is born with that compassion. Sometimes we limit our compassion of ourselves, of children, our siblings, our wife, mother, father, etc. But again, I would say that God has blessed me with an ocean of compassion. Let us feel that we have an ocean of compassion inside us. I cannot believe that God can be so meager that He has given us small hands. He has given us so large hands which can embrace the entire world, not human beings, not animals and the birds, but also the plants and mountains and rivers and oceans. So that compassion should be spread to everyone.
Absolutely, Satyarthi. Every one of them who are listening to you right now should understand this, that compassion is so important. And I have read your work and I've seen your work, and it is undoubtedly your heart is so big. It is not easy for someone to go out there and do things for someone else. People think, people calculate, and people go through 100 questions before they can do the smallest action possible. But your heart has awakened so much that you're able to just connect to any child and go out there and help children. So in that context, what is the one action you want people to take to protect children of our world? Because they are the future. What is that one single action?
Well, if you allow me, Krishnaji,
Yes.
I would urge everyone to close their eyes for 30 seconds.
Absolutely.
And then for 40 seconds. And when everybody closes his or her eyes, think of your own childhood. When you were children, you were so pure, you were so clean, so transparent, so forgiving, so forgetting wrongs of others, so lovable as a child. So just think, everyone can think of his or her childhood for 30 seconds, and then I will tell the answer. Om Shanti. I can say just one thing, that if we are rich, if we are knowledgeable, if we are sitting in big positions, if we are famous, and even then we have some sense of love and compassion, some feelings for others, if we do something good, if we are truthful, if we are honest in our life, it is not because we are rich or we are learned. It is because a child is inside each one of us. That child should be protected. For me, childhood is not an age. Childhood is purity of soul, purity of heart. Childhood is forgiveness. We always keep grudges in our minds when something goes wrong around us. We have a lot of animosity and other things, hatred. But in case of children forget and forgive those things. We teach our children artificiality in the name of learning etiquettes, but their truthfulness, their originality, their purity is lost. So we can can keep that childhood inside us, but we should also take one action tonight or in the morning in other countries. Just make an unknown child smile. Think of your own childhood. Keep that child inside yourself. Protect, nurse that child. Don't let him or her die. And same thing could be done with an unknown child. Think, how can you make a smile on the face of that child? For me, the purest smile, free smile of a child is the signature of divinity. This is the signature of peace. This is the signature of the future of the humankind. Why can't we help in putting that signature by making a child smile with the sense of freedom and purity, so that we can feel that every child is my child, every child is our child. Pakistani children and Indian children are same. Sudanese and American children are same. They are just pure beings. So we should feel that if a child is taken as slave, if a child is trafficked to work as prostitute, or if a child is sexually abused and we are not able to listen to that cry of child, then we have to feel that something is wrong inside us. We have to feel the suffering of every child as our own suffering and try to end it, try to put an end to this menace. Those who are listening to me, if they can feel for children with that sense of purity, then much of the problems which we face in the world today can be eliminated, can be evaporated. We can solve those problems. And the solution will not come from the outside. The solution is already inside us. We are born with solutions. We create problems around us, and we keep on struggling in solving those problems from outside. But let us go inside deep and then be the solver of those problems as a child. No child is left behind. No child is left unsafe. No child is left without freedom. No child is left without an education. No child is left without a childhood. And that we can do once we start feeling as a child ourselves and as problem solver, so that every child is safe, free and educated. And youth can play the most important role in doing it.
I'm sure, Satyarthi, the millions of people who are listening to you have definitely got this message. This message that they have to connect to their inner child and they have to reflect upon what is it that they did not have and how much they needed it. And that they can connect with the child that they see outside and they can really feel and make sure that that child does not go through the same suffering and pain that this person went through when he was a child or she was a child. I'm sure they've got that message, Satyarthi, and it's a beautiful message. And I think it's a very simple act. If we can really make one child smile every day who is not your child, I think this world will definitely become a better place. It's a great message from you, Satyarthi. Thank you so much. What is the message you have for the young people of the world? Because they are our future. And unfortunately, many children are already hurt or abused in some form or the other. So as they grow up into leaders, what is the message you have for them?
Well, I'm not a peace leader, a leader, but as a friend of young people, I can share a few things. But that is only possible. I can communicate it freely and straight in their hearts and minds if they feel me as their friend. So as a friend, I can say a few things. First of all, the youth are the commonwealth of the world. Youth should not feel that they belong to one community, one caste, one creed, one nation. They should feel that they live in one world. The whole planet Earth is our mother, and we have to feel the son of the entire Mother Earth. All the borders, all the walls, all the differences and divides created by some people in the history, youth should feel that they are the sons and daughters of the same mother, first of all. Secondly, in my own experience, we have seen that once the young people take the lead role, they are not just the future, they are our present. They are our present. And their presence should prove that once they take the leadership with concern and compassion and action for the betterment of humanity, then there is no comparison. They are full of energy, they are full of enthusiasm, they are full of power, and their power can never be compared with anyone. So, when we organized a global march against child labor in 1998 with the demand that there should be an international law against child labor and child slavery, worst forms of child labor, 15 million people participated in 103 countries. It was 80,000 kilometers long march. It was led by the survivors of slavery and prostitution and child soldiers, and they were marching and leading, and nobody could say no to them when my children from Africa, Asia, Latin America, Africa, everywhere, Asia. And they raised the voice that no more tools in tiny hands, no more guns in tiny hands. We want books, we want trials, we want pencils. No world leader could refuse. And when they reached in Geneva, in the General Assembly of International Labour Organization, everybody agreed that was the power of morality, the moral authority of children, the purity of children. And then, within a year, a new law has been unanimously adopted in 1999. And only this week, on 4th of this month, it has become the first international labor law, in effect, which has got the universal ratification. Every single nation has finally ratified it. It means all governments of the world are obliged to make sure that no child is enslaved or prostituted or forced to work in hazardous conditions. But that was the power of the youth. Similarly, we have launched another campaign for education, where education is considered just a charity or one of the development or welfare activities. We've got this whole paradigm shift by pushing the agenda that education is a divine right. As freedom is divine right, education is divine right. If there is any obstacle created by anyone in learning, that is against the divinity, it is against the God, but of course it is against the Constitution and laws. And the Constitution and laws should be synchronized with that divinity, the divine principle of born for free and born for learning. So it has changed the world, and education has become fundamental right, not only in India, but globally. We mobilized millions of youth, hundreds of millions of young people, and now we have launched a campaign for 100 million for 100 million. 100 million youth are suffering violence. And violence is not simply wars or, insurgencies or killing each other. The violence is multifaceted. So, slavery, trafficking, denial of health, denial of education, denial of freedom are different forms of violence. If children are put into abject poverty and hunger, it's also violence. Somebody is responsible for it, and children have never created wars. Children have never created the borders between the countries. Children were never responsible for any divide in humanity. But children are the worst sufferers. So, young people, 100 million young people who are suffering, they need to act, they need to do something, but we have to build that environment for them. But on the other hand, the world has almost 3 billion youth, and out of those 3 billion, at least 100 million are ready to take up the challenge. So they want to do something for the society. They look for some platform. They wanted to make it a better place. So I am trying to knock on the doors and hearts of people then don't look for leaders. Don't look for outside. Don't look for heroes outside. There is a hero, there is a leader, there is a champion, there is a change maker inside every single young person in the world. And these young people should join 100 million campaign. So 100 million youth should be the leaders and create a new culture, new civilization, everyone safe and educated. I call upon the young people, and I will support in the future, and we will get in touch. I'm so pleased and happy we do, and to hear voice before we started of Pitaji, and your daughter is wonderful. So God bless.
Thank you, Satyarthiji. I'm sure this message that you just gave for the youth will inspire youth, because every time we keep seeing that youth have played a major role in bringing about change. And it is so fulfilling to see that. So I'm sure thousands and thousands of youth that are listening to you right now in schools and colleges will be tremendously inspired to make a change and to make sure that the children of the future and the present are completely protected. So Satyarthiji, one last question before you leave us. Now that you are here with us at the Ekam World Peace Festival, tell us, why do you think peace meditation and peace is so important for humanity? Can you please tell us?
Well, again, this is not simply absence of violence. Peace is not simply absence of wars. Peace is much more deep. This is an equilibrium between the body, mind, and soul of an individual. And that requires a lot of practice, that requires a lot of other things, so that our body is free and healthy, our mind is free and healthy, and our soul is really liberated and enlightened with the divine light. So that equilibrium has to be created inside each one of us. It's not enough. We can live in peace. I can live in peace. You can live in peace, but we have to go beyond I and you. And we have to make we out of it. There should be another equilibrium that has to be created between myself, the larger society, and the planet. So, individual, society, planet has to find that equilibrium where nobody is harming each other. Nobody is hurdling the freedom of others. We should be free from fear, and the mind free from worries, and that is possible when we are able to create equilibrium, and that's why parenting is very much needed. We should not impose ourselves on others, but desire on others. Sometimes we could not achieve in our life, we try to impose an action on others, and their purity, their childhood is lost. It is vanished. We should not make them artificial beings, machines. They are human beings. They should not become the part or duplicate or engine of growth engine, what we call the growth, economic growth, what we call the GDP. They should not become the tool of GDP. They should remain as human beings, should not impose them that you have to score mark, you have to ask, you have to get a good career, you have to earn more money and things like that. So we have to parent it. And if we really give them a good parenting, then we can build peace inside them and inside us. Then the second thing is education. So education is very, very important, that how we are able to foster, inculcate and foster the values of peace, that equilibrium, as I mentioned before, and finally meditate. We have to spare some time for ourselves, but when we meditate, it is not just for ourselves, it is to connect. And we go beyond our worldly sufferings and desires and expectations and happiness and sorrows and everything in the course of meditation, then we are able to create that equilibrium through meditation. Peace, and also we can create the peace in the world. So meditation is really important. So education and meditation.
Thank you, Satyarthiji. Thank you so much for that wonderful message. Thank you for being with us. Our fullest support will be with you on your noble mission. Preetaji and I will completely support you. Please join us in the peace meditation with the millions of us from around the world for world peace. Thank you so much. Namaste, Satyarthiji.
Thank you. So,
that was a very beautiful, wonderful message from Satyarthiji. How I think it is so easy to understand how every problem is created by us. That is what he was telling again and again, that every problem is created by us. It's not created by children. It's not created by our childhood when we were children, but it is when we grow up. I think something goes wrong. So it's created by us, and he was very clear, it's not God, it's no one who's creating these problems, which means there has to be an awakened heart. Just like he has an awakened heart, all of us must have that awakened heart and awakened consciousness to really make a difference and make this world a better place. So for that to happen, you need to again meditate and move into this deep state of peace. It's very important. So let's do that. You must be wondering how peace for children is going to impact the reduction of wars in the world. The pain that children and young people of the world suffer will become part of the thought sphere of humanity. This will flow into people for generations to come as thoughts of anger and violence. As we meditate for peace for all aspects of life, this thought sphere of humanity will become infused with peace and prompt peacefulness. It is the dharma of every one of us to meditate for peace in the world. Remember, peace is either for all or for none of us. Our peace meditation will reduce the violence in human collective consciousness. It will add to the peace in humanity's consciousness. As you meditate for wars to cease, you will see that greater peace will reign in your own families, organizations, and neighborhoods. Please close your eyes. Place both your palms upon your heart center. Let us connect with today's peace intention to become instruments for peace in our family, in our community, and the world. To diffuse the force of violence and hate that is driving humanity to wars and contribute to peace in human consciousness. Relax your palms. Gently open your eyes. Let us now connect with Ekam and the power of the universal intelligence that flows from Ekam. As you see Ekam and listen to the Ekam mantra, you are connecting to its power. Ekam is a divine force field. Wherever you are in the world, you can connect with the mystic power of Ekam. Like the field of gravity is spread across the entire universe, but you experience a greater force in certain places. Just so, as you connect with Ekam, you experience a much more powerful presence of the universal intelligence or the divine. Please close your eyes. Holding your attention upon Ekam, ask the universal intelligence or the divine to flow into you now. Ask the universal intelligence to open your heart to an experience of forgiveness and heal the wounds of hate you have experienced in your life. Think of the people who have hurt you and whom you have hurt and whom you have hurt, and say, I forgive you. Forgive me for the hurt I have caused you. Please repeat this in your heart as you feel each person. I forgive you. Forgive me for the hurt I have cost you. I forgive you. Forgive me for the hurt I have caused you. Feel your body, your heart, and your entire being become filled with golden light of peace. A state of stillness like an endless stream of radiance. Feel your peace energies flow like streaming radiance to all those people who have experienced pain and destruction caused by war in their lives. Feel your peace energies flow to those who are perpetrating violence and war in the world. Bless them from your heart, that the fire of hate and anger in them be put off and their hearts become peaceful. feel that all nations on earth are peaceful. All nationalities are at peace with each other. See that the earth is peaceful. All living beings on earth are peaceful. Slowly move your attention to your heart. You will now receive blessings from Ekam into your heart, from where the blessings will flood your homes with divine and auspicious energies. Please open your eyes now. Look at the peace flame. Holding your gaze upon the peace flame, make a sacred promise. Repeat this to yourself. Wherever I find conflict between people, I will act to diffuse it. I will add to peace and not to conflict. Feel your heart awaken to peace. Feel the heart of your loved ones awaken to peace. Feel peace flow to every living being on earth. Gently open your eyes. Today you have added to peace in human consciousness. This in itself will bring great good karma to all of you. The peace celebration continues. Namaste.
Tomorrow, we will meditate for peace for all children and young people of the world. It would be an immensely beautiful journey led by Sri Preetaji. On the final day, August the 15th, you will be entering a global limitless field with Sri Preetaji and Sri Krishnaji. Let us invite all our friends and family members, as many people as possible, to come together to create a massive impact in the human collective consciousness. We request your support to care for the 1,000 villages around Ekam by contributing as a peace sponsor. Your contribution will bring greater happiness and well-being in the lives of several thousand families and children. By contributing to this humanitarian cause, you will turn the tides of karmic forces towards good for yourself and for your family. Every peace sponsor will receive a special Zoom link to participate in Ekam World Peace Festival. Please visit the link and join as a peace sponsor. It is now time to celebrate. Let us celebrate peace. Let us celebrate our togetherness and oneness. Let us put our hands together to welcome Cosmic Band, who have come from different countries. Nanan from Brazil, Juan Guerrero from Spain, Lacharo from Argentina, Brian from the United States, Enzo from Argentina. We also have guest musicians, Jin from China, Mermans from Congo. They are here to perform live music for us.
is nothing to say. I'm on my way. It blows my mind, this wide open ocean of light, surrounded by grace. There is nothing to say. We found our place. I am you and me, all together as one. I am you are me, all together, all together. Outside, so hot, Ekam. Outside, so hot, Ekam. Outside, so hot, Ekam.
All together as one. All together, all together. Você é eu, unidos juntos. Eu sou você, você é eu, unidos juntos, unidos juntos. I am you are me, all together as one. I am you are me, all together, all together.
Thank you so much for being a part of the Ekam World Peace Festival. We will meet each other tomorrow again. Namaste. Peace sponsors, please stay connected on your Zoom line.
1, 2, 3, haciendo prueba de audio desde la sala de español, transmitiendo el Festival Mundial de la Paz. Haciendo prueba de audio en el micrófono de la sala de español para la transmisión en vivo del Festival de la Paz Mundial Ekam. Pautas de participación. Puedes encender un incienso o una lámpara y crear una atmósfera de sacralidad. Apaga tu celular o ponlo en modo en silencio. Siéntate en una silla o en un cojín, en un mat de meditación, en una silla, no camines alrededor. Ten una botella de agua cerca de ti por si te da sed y no te involucres en ninguna otra actividad como comer o hacer alguna otra tarea durante la ceremonia. Asegúrate de que te encuentras en una habitación en silencio y mantén el mauna o silencio total.
The truth is one. The wise perceive it in many ways. Cosmic reality is one. Every perception of reality is wise. All perceptions of the one reality are wise. So why conflict at all?
Entonces, ¿qué necesidad del conflicto?
Oh
Welcome to the third and
Bienvenidos al tercer Festival Anual de la Paz Mundial. El día de hoy tenemos a más de 10 millones de personas escuchando y meditando con nosotros de todas partes del mundo. A partir de esta mañana, al momento de hoy, varios canales de televisión se han unido para dar el apoyo total a la causa de Ekam, Festival de la Paz Mundial, transmitiendo varias veces al día. Tenemos más de 120 canales de televisión que están transmitiendo el evento hoy mismo. Estamos muy agradecidos con todos ellos. Varios cientos de miles de aldeas en India y más de 2,000 educativas y organizaciones sociales están conectadas con nosotros en estos momentos. Todos estamos aquí reunidos como un solo ser, con nuestros corazones latiendo juntos por una sola causa, la paz mundial. El día de hoy empezaremos con la primera intención de paz para que las guerras terminen y que haya paz entre las naciones. Observemos ahora un video de presentación sobre Sri Pritaji y Sri Krishnaji, así como la visión masiva que tienen para la transformación mundial. Pritaji y Krishnaji son dos de los líderes transformacionales y filósofos de nuestra época. A la temprana edad de 11 años, Krishnaji tuvo un despertar masivo hacia la inteligencia universal y hacia esos estados de unidad. Desde entonces, cuando la gente medita ante su presencia, su mente se vuelve quieta y pueden sentir la transferencia de energía y vivir los milagros. Junto con su esposa, Pritaji, han fundado la Academia OEO, una escuela de filosofía y meditación para impactar la conciencia humana que transforma a miles en diferentes países alrededor del mundo. Pritaji realiza diferentes viajes para expandir la conciencia para que la gente permanezca en estados de felicidad. En el año 2008, Krishnaji, junto con las bendiciones de sus padres Sri Ama y Sri Bhagavan, construyó Ekam. Ekam es una casa de poder místico que sigue principios místicos de construcción, construidos sobre un terreno especial que transmiten estas energías. El día de hoy, durante los festivales de Ekam, la gente viene de muchísimos rincones del mundo. Pritaji y Krishnaji son mentores de muchos líderes mundiales como Osher Raymond, Ari Emanuel, Michael Novogratz, Tony Robbins, Lewis Howes, Keshi Sheehan, Ian Lopatin. Pritaji y Krishnaji, junto con su hija Loka, han creado dos caridades masivas, World Youth Changemakers y One Humanity Care, para poder ayudar a la vida de jóvenes y de miles de aldeas alrededor de Ekam en India. Namaste. Bienvenidos al tercer Festival Anual de la Paz Mundial. Durante los próximos 7 días, todos y cada uno de nosotros estaremos cumpliendo con un gran dharma como seres humanos, el cual es que haya paz en la tierra y que esto beneficie a todos los seres vivos. Cuando conectamos con Ekam Kshetra o con el campo de unidad y meditamos por la paz, Ekam amplificará esa energía de paz generada por nuestra meditación colectiva. Esta energía amplificada entonces se irradia hacia nuestras familias, nuestros lugares de trabajo, nuestras comunidades y hacia todos los seres vivos. El día de hoy, 10 millones de nosotros sostendremos una visión espiritual y meditaremos para que las guerras terminen en el mundo y para que la guerra dentro de nuestras propias mentes también termine. Si yo te preguntara qué es la guerra, ¿qué me dirías? Ya que muchos de ustedes no son soldados y que nunca han visto tal vez una guerra, la gran mayoría de ustedes me responderían según el antecedente de estas historias de terror o de historias leídas en los libros. Es un hecho de que muchos de ustedes se ven consumidos por sus desafíos inmediatos, de tener que pagar las cuentas, de tener que encontrar el amor de su vida o encontrar la soledad y salir adelante con las demandas del día a día. Estando atrapados en todo esto, no se dan cuenta de los temas más grandes a su alrededor. No tienes la energía mental o no tienes no tienes esa capacidad para crear esa visión. Suena triste, pero es cierto. Reflexiona en ello por unos momentos. El día de hoy, déjenme compartir con ustedes una historia de un señor que se transformó de ser un agresor, de una violencia inimaginable, a convertirse en un propagador de gran paz. Él era un emperador de la India, el emperador Ashoka. Él vivió hace 2400 años aproximadamente. Muchos de ustedes tal vez han leído acerca de él en los libros de historia, pero escucha con atención a lo que te estoy contando en estos momentos. Esta persona era uno entre los cientos hijos quien era un rey. Su padre era un rey y él era insignificante entre el resto de los demás hijos de su padre. Y su padre lo había humillado profundamente. Después de la muerte de su padre, la historia cuenta que él fraguó la muerte de todos sus hermanos, sus 99 hermanos, y que posteriormente también vivió muchísimas guerras sangrientas, matando reinado tras reinado para convertirse en un guerrero mucho más fuerte que su padre. Y de esta manera India estuvo bajo su reinado. Y él solo se nombró emperador. Finalmente, un pequeño reino llamado Kalinga tuvo una pelea muy difícil y ganó después de haber matado a cientos de miles de personas. Pero algo le ocurrió a él al final de esa guerra. En el día de su victoria, tuvo una experiencia muy poderosa de despertar. Mientras estaba ahí en el campo de batalla, veía correr la sangre a su alrededor mezclada con agua de lluvia. Y pudo ver la muerte. Pudo ver la muerte de todos sus soldados. Escuchó las quejas de las viudas de sus hombres muertos. En ese momento había una gran conciencia. Mientras se hizo consciente de esta escena, se movió hacia un estado profundo de atención y desde este nivel de conciencia tuvo una gran claridad de qué tan cruel y qué tan malvado se había convertido como ser humano. se dio cuenta de todo el dolor que había perpetuado, de esa ambición y de esa hambruna que había generado a miles. En ese momento, una increíble paz llegó a su conciencia. Una pasividad que le arrebató todos esos años de enojo. Una paz que permitió silenciar todas esas insatisfacciones y añoranzas internas. Todo ese placer de esas victorias que había tenido resultaron insignificantes ante enfrentar esta paz profunda. Esa experiencia de despertar a la paz se convirtió en ese punto de partida ahora en su vida. Desistió completamente a la violencia. Un hombre que en algún momento fue conocido como Chand Ashoka, es decir, el malvado Ashoka, se convirtió en Prid Ashoka, es decir, aquel que complace a todos. También fue conocido como el emperador más amoroso y más pacífico que ha tenido la historia. Toda su vida había vivido añorando por obtener más harta o por obtener más riqueza y más kama, que es esta añoranza incesante por el placer y el poder. Y fue solamente con ese despertar del corazón, que despertó al Dharma. Uno de los significados de la palabra Dharma es responsabilidad noble.